Entrepreneurs get screwed in business all the time. I've seen this firsthand with very successful individuals that I've worked very closely with, and I've experienced it myself. It freaking sucks, actually, and especially when you are screwed by an individual or individuals who you've known for years, who claim to be your friend, only to pretty much turn their backs on you passively. They make promises and then they don't keep those promises. So if you watched my first video, you learned that I am in the freaking hole right now of about $8,000 to $10,000 with my landlord, which if you want to help my wife and I to continue to stay here while I try to move us out of the hole that I put us in, mind you, it was my fault. Shoot $1 or $2 or $10 or whatever you're willing to give over to my Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal with the username GeorgeJMaster, or simply shoot it over through my ZELLE using contact information GeorgeJMaster@gmail.com. That information will be provided below this video. But yeah, it ain't easy getting screwed by people that you respected for many years, who identified themselves as a close friend and ally to you. But this happens all of the time to entrepreneurs. Ask some of the most successful people in this world out there, and I am 100% confident that they will give you stories of individuals that they thought were their good friends who ended up screwing them over in business. I mean, shoot, look at the story of Steve Jobs and Woz from the early days of Apple. I mean, there's a prime example of an individual screwing over a founder simply because he wanted to do things that were contrary to the vision of where he wanted Apple to go. Yeah. All right. So as far as my story is concerned, so I was in this hole and I knew there was only one way for me to get out of it after coming out of a depression, and that was to get back to door-to-door sales. So I go up to freaking Colorado to do some door-to-door selling, and the amount of sales that I did up there should have given me at least $5,000 to $6,000 in return into my bank account. But no, you know how much I came out of that with? Under $2,000. And there were several individuals who went on that trip who came back with literally nothing. And I was pissed. So I come back to where I live right now, and I decide I'm going to go ahead and push out 1 to 2 sales with this guy again, just to see where he goes, because I was on a different compensation plan, and then things reverted back to where I was before. So I do my 1 to 2 sales. I get the information about how much I'm going to make on something that should have netted me $950. I only made $535. And the excuse was, well, we need to check to make sure that everything is in line with what we promised you on the original compensation plan and all this bull crap. And I was pissed. And it was at that moment, and this was a week ago. We're on the second to last week of October 2025. That was last freaking Friday. I was pissed. So I decided, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I'm going to form my own freaking company that does this, and we're going to be the biggest badasses in this industry that this particular company I'm going to associate with has ever seen since the previous company I was with. You may be noticing I'm leaving out the names of companies right now because I'm trying to protect their interests. I'm also not mentioning this individual's name because I still kind of respect him, because I've known him for a long time and he's kind of like family. But, you know, at the same time, I need to protect his own personal integrity, whatever that might be. But yeah, getting screwed in business is real. Here's another thing. With somebody that I wasn't really closely associated with, I was dealing with a ton of properties back in 2022 or 2021-ish. I can't remember what year it was. I had a couple of properties under contract for that summer. And one property in particular, everything was good. It was squared away. And then some jackwad from another company and his wife come along. And so he's the wholesaler, and he's married to this, what do they call that? notary public individual. And they came in, had the sellers fill out a contract. They probably promised them more. It happens all the time. But what they did was they had a contract filled out by the seller, and that individual predated the contract to a couple of days before the date that I had on a contract that I initiated with that individual. And I actually had it recorded with the county. But you see, this notary person that this guy is married to notarized it and claimed it was done before the date on my paperwork. So, yeah. Now, cool thing is that guy and that person are now dealing with legal troubles right now. So they finally got caught in their scheme. Yeah, business life isn't the easiest route to take, especially when you know that you're going to get screwed. And if you don't know that and you're thinking about moving on with your own thing outside of a clock and job, get prepared to get screwed, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get screwed by a family or a friend or some close work ally who decided to partner with you. It's going to happen. For example, this one guy that I used to work with who headed the company that he ended up selling for 9 figures, dude, he got screwed by so many people. I don't even freaking know how he managed to keep moving forward. I mean, we had a situation where a group of individuals in Riverside were stealing doorbell cameras off of people's houses after they got installed. So my buddy ended up getting shut down by the principal company that funded us, and he was having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars out of his own personal reserve account to pay for all of the work that we as reps were doing within the company. Eventually, he bounced back out of that and ended up creating the most badass company that I have ever been involved with in my entire life, and ended up selling that sucker for 9 figures. If he could freaking do it, I'm gonna freaking do it. And I'm literally gonna mirror almost exactly what he did, and I'm not even gonna try to reinvent the wheel. And a lot of people out there, from what I've learned, always try to reinvent the wheel, but if you just follow the pattern of what somebody did before, then there has to be some kind of success to come after, right? I don't know that 100% because I've never personally done it before, but I've watched and read books from individuals who have done this before, and they have had massive success. So I decided I'm going to freaking do it and generate all the income that I can get from a scalable business and funnel everything I earn from that into other ventures. And one area that I want to venture into is real estate, because that is the most promising form of wealth that you could have. You can touch it, you can lick it, you can see it, and people have to pay to live in those places every single day. So why not take part in that? And then obviously there are other web ventures that I'd like to endeavor in to try to break into spheres that have been unbreakable for the 30 years that technology has been at its best. So yeah, at any rate, even the guys who created Google, I'm sure those guys have been screwed over plenty of times too. So it ain't easy. And sometimes it puts you in a bad position. And right now, where I'm at, with what I tried to do in Colorado to earn enough to get myself out of the rut that I'm in, fortunately, couldn't do it with that guy. So here I am. Got to try to move things forward, thinking outside of the box, doing other things. But yeah, what are your thoughts? You know, I'd love to hear. Are you an entrepreneur? Have you achieved mass success and dealt with individuals who screwed you over in the past? I want to hear from you guys. So if you can comment in the comment box below, that'd be awesome. And then again, if you want to help my wife and I to continue to stay in the place we're living, we really love this place. And, you know, I wish I wasn't putting my landlord through all that he's been going through with our 4 months of not paying rent. And I'm so grateful to God that his heart has been softened enough to continue to keep us here, but he can't do it anymore and we got to pay him. So if you want to help us out, awesome. The Venmo, the Cash App, and the PayPal is username GeorgeJMaster, and the Zelle uses contact information GeorgeJMaster@gmail.com. If you can help, very thankful for you. I wish I could shake your hand, And hopefully I do come across you in life. And if you can't, it's not the end of the world. It's just 1 to 5 to 10 or whatever you can give. But if not, it's not the end of the world, and life moves forward. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from y'all, and I hope you're willing to follow me on the venture, and we'll see what happens over the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah. All right. Well, peace out.